Alright boys, today we're breaking down the real money on woods. I'm talking Labs cards, Bitcoins, LedX spawns, everything the sweats don't want you to know. So sit back, relax, and let's run the economy together. Alright, so to start things off, we are kind of in the middle of the sawmill here. And our first spawn location is in the back of this SUV. And it is a possible Violet Labs card. Also here at the sawmill, you can find moonshine spawns on this table. And this table. Alright, so we have taken the BTR to the train yard. There's a couple rooms in this building right here that we want to check on. So there's one spawn that's usually next to the sink right here on the ground. You can find intel there like blue folders. On top of this washing machine. And then in the floor next to this sink. We can find another intel spawn if we go into this building here. In this office in the back left. This time it was a manual. But sometimes you can find blue folders there. You can find a moonshine on top of this table. Next, make your way back to this large garage type building. And there are two beds in here, which we can find rare spawns on top of both. You can sometimes find rare tools on this radio here, or these shelves on the back. And once we pass through the garage, don't forget to check this porta potty for a rare spawn right there as well. Okay, the last rare spawn at the train yard is going to be in this little wagon here. Sometimes this one can be stuck in the floor, but it'll be in front of these sandbags here. We are now at the military camp, and there is a LedX spawn that can be found on this table right here. It's also worth mentioning there's lots of good med spawns on these shelves, this table, these shelves. There's another LedX spawn back here in this area. You just need to make sure you're checking all of these tables as you come through. And then if we exit this tent and come to the right, there's a moonshine spawn on top of this box here. In the guardhouse at Sawmill, there is a Violet Keycard spawn next to this book here on the table. At this little campsite outside of the sawmill, there's a chance for a Bitcoin or a flash drive inside this tent here. Outside of the sawmill, there is a cultist circle on the ground where you might be able to find some valuables. At the checkpoint near the sawmill, there is a Violet Keycard spawn on this seat right here. If you have the key for ZB14, you might be able to find a LedX in these shelves right here. At the USEC camp, there is a valuable spawn at the very back of this tent on the ground next to this stretcher. At the USEC camp, you can find blue folders tucked in between these pallets right here. You can find a LedX around this body or on the ground here at the USEC camp. In the underground scav bunker, there are valuable spawns on the mattresses. Somewhere around there. You can find them over here and on this one as well. At Bridge Overlook, there is a valuable spawn on this brown sack next to the duffel bag. Also at Bridge Overlook, there is a Bitcoin spawn underneath this bed here. At the abandoned village, there are several boats that have valuable spawns in them. The first one is between these two broken down houses. You can find another boat in this shack by the pond. In the house next to the first boat that I showed you, there is a valuable spawn in this little bush here. On the other side of that house, you might be able to find rare spawns in this cultist circle on the ground. Next to the sunken church, there's a building over here that has a tent where you could find more rare spawns. You can find a rare spawn in this boat next to the sunken church. Inside the sunken church, you can find a rare spawn on the floor right here. In the marked circle bunker on woods, there's a rare spawn back here on the ground. And you can also find marked keys in the circle back here. The last place I want to show you is the crashed plane. There's spawns just about everywhere through here. Hope you guys learned something new. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more like this.